The Wedding Feast at Cana by Paolo Veronese is his interpretation on John chapter 2, verse 11. The center of the painting is not Jesus sitting at the table, but rather a lamb being slaughtered right above his head. This is symbolic of the death of Christ. Naturally, when we look at the painting, our eyes are drawn vertically because of the steeple, and if you follow the painting vertically from the bottom, you will see the two dogs, which represent the earth. Above the two dogs is the hourglass, which represents time. Above that is Jesus, and above that is the slaughter of the lamb, which represents the death of Christ. Above that is the sky, which represents infinity. Veronese was emphasizing that how we get from heaven to earth is through the death and resurrection of Jesus, and through the death and resurrection of Jesus, we are able to overcome time. The vertical is also used to show the separation of heaven and earth through the columns, because the columns on the lower half of the painting are Doric and more heavy, while the ones on the top half are Corinthians and point towards the sky. Again, the separation of heaven and earth is seen horizontally. Jesus, we notice his garments, and that they are split in two, with the left half being red and the right half being blue, bringing us back to the water and wine, which is the miracle of the wedding of Cana. Water at the time symbolized danger and possible death because of its recklessness and vastness. We see this multiple times in the Old Testament, with the parting of the Red Sea and the Israelites having to cross the Jordan in order to enter the Promised Land. However, in the New Testament, Jesus walked on water, symbolizing his power over death. Wine at the time represented life and festivity. At the wedding feast at Cana, Jesus turns the water into wine. At the death and resurrection of Jesus, he turns death into life. This painting is also split into two sides, similar to Jesus' garments. The left is lighter and emphasizes the life. For example, the bride and the bridegroom are on this side, and they are being served wine. And on the other side, it is darker, and at the bottom right is a man pouring water out of a jug. His feet are bare. This shows his mortality, because the serpent, Satan, will strike at the heel. He is pouring water, which again points to how water is being compared to death. Ultimately, we can see that through Jesus, we are brought life because he has conquered death. Now, in the painting, there are many famous people, such as Francis I of France, Mary I of England, and the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. However, at the center of the painting is Jesus, Mary, and the 12 apostles. This is important to emphasize the vertical of the painting and that Jesus is the center of our lives. Also in the painting is Veronese himself. He can be found at the very front as the musician playing the viola da braiose. He is dressed in white. He is accompanied by other well-known painters. This is to emphasize the festivity of the wine. In conclusion, we are able to see that Jesus brings us life because he has conquered death for us.